I'm back, and unfortunately, this is going to be another one of them ones, because for as long as you've been on the internet, you and I both know that the internet has been viewed as a mistake. Yes, there have been these great strides via the internet. You have been introduced to me via the internet, but we could all agree that there's a long list of things that have led to one to think at least one point in time in their life that the internet was a mistake. And as you list them all off, and as you all agree with one another, I'm only going to focus on one, and it's the one that has pissed me off ever since I started making content. It's people looking at something, getting in their feelings, and using a crumb of information or making up information on the fly and having talking points and think pieces and live streams debating people around those talking points and think pieces all around something that they made up. And then when evidence, proof, and the truth comes out to debunk all these claims, all of a sudden these same people who had the balls to sit in front of you and waste your breath and your time are not going to say, hey, I just wasted my breath and I just wasted your time by spouting a bunch of nonsense based around something that I made up. Now, what could I possibly be referencing? Well, recently there was a story about a child on a cruise ship almost being lost at sea. And thankfully that child is still on this earth with us. Why? Because the father of said child stepped into action and saved their child and waited, I believe, 20 minutes in the water for reinforcements to get them and bring them back safely. All around, good story, good parenting, good fatherhood. And it's an example as to how, as bad as the world truly is, there's a little bit of good somewhere, and it's in the fathers protecting their seeds as they develop in the world. But for some reason, people on the internet wanted to be truth seekers. People on the internet wanted to have a different conversation. They wanted to have a conversation about the negligence of the father because somewhere, and I don't know where, they made up this story that the father propped up the kid on one of like the railings leading to the outside and the child just up and fell. And they were running with that to the hills, talking points about accountability between men and women, negligent fathers, the whole 9 yards.
Why y'all calling that father who jumped off that Disney cruise ship to save his daughter's life a hero when he had her up on top of the railing allegedly to take a picture of her and then that's how she fell off? To me, that's not Father of the Year. That's you lucky as Father of the Year, but Father of the Year, nah.
Y'all telling me that kid that fell off the Disney cruise. Hold on, why my camera blurred? Y'all telling me that kid that fell off the Disney cruise. She fell off the cruise because her dad put her on the balcony railing and she fell off. I thought it was the accident. I thought she was like something unforeseen happening. She just ended up in the water. I didn't know the father was a part of the shit that made her actually fall in the goddamn water. I mean, I commend him for jumping his ass in there. I mean, I commend him. I mean, you can't take that away from him. He said, fuck all that. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get in there. That's how he was. So I commend him for that. Because you gotta correct what you fucked up. You had to correct what you fucked up. I'm glad everybody made it out safe, but I did not. Ain't nobody told me that. I'm thinking, oh, he's a hero. I mean, he's a hero, man. But goddamn, do better. Do better. You almost got that. What if? You know what could have happened? The propellers, to all type of sharks, mermaids. Do you understand what I'm saying? You put your kid on the railing. She falls up. Now you gotta jump in there too. See? My heart would have been like, I know the mama was like this. Somebody help me.
He is not a hero. This may not be popular, but the father is just not a hero. The father who jumped off the Disney cruise ship to save his daughter after she fell in the ocean, in my eyes, there's no scenario where he's a hero. Multiple reports from passengers on the ship claim that the father had the daughter up on the rail to take photos of her. And even if you didn't believe that story, and the daughter at 5 climbed up onto that rail by herself, that means that the parents were not paying attention to her. And in my mind, because you make a stupid mistake and you correct it, that does not make you a hero. I would be nervous to even take my young children on a cruise ship like that, but I certainly know that I would be smart enough not to put my kids up on the rail to take a photo or to let them out of my vision for 1 single second. Cruise ships are scary even for full-grown adults. If you fall in that ocean, likely you're doomed. The fact that either of them survived is a pure miracle. But you don't get to do something stupid, fix your mistakes, and make yourself a hero. So I'm sorry, in my books, the father is just not a hero, and you can't convince me otherwise. He saved his daughter. He did what anyone would have done, anything except not make a stupid mistake to let your kid fall in the ocean. And that's what
the rumors are right now. That man jumped in without hesitation.
One thing men will never have to worry about is accountability, because there will always be some woman out there to sweep their bullshit under the rug. There will always be some woman out there to say, hey, I know this man did something potentially horrific, but look at what he did to clean up his potentially horrific mess. Let's pat him on the head. I've seen a few posts now of women proactively defending this man in the event that he actually was responsible for the daughter falling. Because again, we don't even know, right? Like, we don't even know yet, but women are already out there preemptively protecting this man. If we find out that this man did absolutely nothing wrong and it was purely just a random freak accident, we need to recognize that folks were willing to preemptively, proactively defend this man before it was even confirmed that there was anything he needed to be defended for. And instead of this triggering a conversation about how negligent many dads can be, the risk-taking behavior of fathers with their children, and how that can result in serious accidents, if not death, instead of that being the conversation that's brought up by the possibility of this man having done that, no, the conversation is, but he jumped in right after her. There's a less than 10% chance that they could have survived. He treaded water for 20 minutes with a potentially panicking child. We will never see accountability from the male population.
Wait, isn't it the bare minimum to go and save your child that you dropped off of the fucking top of a cruise ship? You placed the child on a rail and you jump in to save her, as you should, because you are the father who irresponsibly placed the child on a rail to fall into cold ass water, probably infested with sharks.
Which then led to an investigation into these claims, which proved that it was all a bunch of, say it with me now, bullshit. Authorities reveal how young Disney cruise passenger who's 5 years old fell off the ship after the hero dad rescued her in the open sea. 5-year-old girl who fell overboard on a Disney cruise had slipped through the ship's porthole and down into the ocean below, according to officials, dispelling rumors that her father was at fault for the scary plummet. I could stop right there. I ain't gotta read no more. People, I'ma need y'all, when you see these types of things, you just sit back, shut the fuck up, and wait just a little bit.
The Broward County Police Department confirmed that the father who jumped into the water to save his daughter off of that Disney cruise ship, he did not have her on the railing. So everybody who made a post calling him a villain, saying that he's not a hero, saying, oh, that's the least he could do, y'all owe him an apology. Y'all owe him an apology, and this is why people should start suing for slander. Y'all just talk, but y'all don't have no information. Y'all speak before y'all know, and y'all go off of rumors. It's terrible. No research was done whatsoever. I was wondering, how did people know that he put her on the railing? There was no video evidence. Nobody said anything about this, but a rumor started on Facebook and y'all ran with it. That man just saved his daughter's life, jumps into the fucking ocean. Something that a lot of people would not do. Y'all would wait for the Coast Guards, the lifeguards, to go and save that little girl. But he was like, oh no, I'm going after my baby. And y'all decided to crucify him on the internet. It's terrible. It's horrible, actually. He deserves a big ass apology. He is like father of the fucking century to me, because jumping into the water is scary, okay? And he did that for his baby, as he should.
Because if you actually cared, you would wait for the truth of the matter. Of course, when somebody falls off of a boat, they're going to investigate how. Did they get drunk? Did someone push them? Did they get a little bit too excited and adventurous? And they're going to investigate. Now, I don't know how a 5-year-old falls through a porthole and just goes automatically out to sea, but damn, you're a little bit too adventurous for a 5-year-old, and you need to just sit your simple little ass down and maybe hang out with Mickey while you sip on a makeshift child-friendly cocoa nut. But for people to be that quick to spread nothing and think it had some substance is fucking pathetic. And you could bet your sweet bippy that they did not get back on their social medias and say, oops, I got this wrong. Oops, I made this up. They're probably, after they get bitched at enough in their comment sections, are probably going to do some passive aggressive thing where they sit there and say, yeah, well, I got this wrong, but my point still stands. We still have an accountability problem. We still got this. We still got that. We still got this. We still got that. No, because your entire point is based around something you made up. It's not based around something real. They got negligent fathers out there. They got negligent mothers out there. They got negligent brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, all of that. Those are real stories that you could find and you could have your talking points with. And I'm certain somebody will argue with you. It won't be me, because hopefully you would have the fucking sense to say, yeah, I'm going to speak about this based on a real situation, not something I got from the internet. And that's another thing. Oh, well, you mad at me, but I got it from this person. Oh, you mad at me, I got it from that person. Oh, you mad at me, I got it from that person. You motherfuckers didn't take the time to even wait to figure out if what you were fucking looking at was true. How many times do motherfuckers gotta go through this shit with y'all? How many times do I gotta sit here and be the one to point out that you should sit back, enjoy the show, shut the fuck up, and wait, because it's boring, because it's not really entertaining, it's not really engaging for your likes on social media, and I get that. But what if I said it's better to be right than it is to be first? Because when you first, you suffer the great risk of being the one who's looked at the most as the dumbass who got it wrong. And that's just me trying to make sure everybody eats at the table, not anybody eating some spoiled food and then dying via the lashings of the sexiest black YouTuber, because none of you want that, you petulant children. You want to be catered to, you want to be respected in your online spaces, and you can't get to that point lying or talking about shit based around fucking nothing. And I'll end this on a positive note. I hope that father and that child are enjoying themselves as they go back home or continuing the cruise. And I hope Mickey Mouse is shooting pool somewhere while snorting it in the back with no one looking at him in any direction. Subscribe to the channel. Be smart about things you research before you post about your takes online, because who knows, you might be basing it around some bullshit. Mwah! Goodbye.